Hello there! Welcome back to our Java tutorial, and in our previous video we talked about some basic things about Java, which includes the applications that we'll be using, which includes our text editor and of course the command prompt. Together with the basic commands that we'll be using to navigate our computer and of course to create, compile, and run our Java program. So in this video tutorial, we'll be tackling about this topic. So we have first our program structure and the main method. So what is it about the main method? So I have created here a class that named basics, and let's just put a main method here, and it could be like this one, and then let's save it as, again, as I have said, always save it in your folder. So let's name is at, remember, name your file same with your class. So basics.java. There we have it. And now we can see that our main method contains nothing. So if we will compile it, java basics.java, and if we run it, java basics, you will see that it outputs nothing. So what happens, what is the importance of main method in our Java program? So basically, if you will be running this specific class without main method, what will actually happen? If we compile it, then run it, you will actually see an error which says that main method not found in class basics, and it has specific instruction that we should define the main method as public static void, and then this one. So if you forgot about that, totally disregard it, remove it, and then run it, and you'll be required to define it, this one. You'll see how it should be defined. So remember also to read your errors, because most of the time it's where the answer lies. Okay, so with this method, we'll just be creating one line which outputs another, which gives us an output. So system.out.print. So with this one, it just outs hello. Again, it just outs hello. So let's check if it's working, and then run it, and there you have it. So let's just clear our screen, and it says that our next topic is all about printing. Okay, we can print it. So what's the difference between the print and the print line? Okay, when we run this, remember, we use the print and then the print line after. So let's run this. Is it taking? Okay, and then run it. It says that hello, hello. But if we actually interchange the two, first one is ln and then the last one is print, will we be seeing another a different output, or we'll just be seeing the same output? So let's take a look at it. We can actually see here that we come up with different output. So these two side by side and this one under the other. So what's the difference between system.out.println versus the print alone. So the print alone prints our output as is, while the print line says that we have to print this and then create another line. That's why when we have it the other way around, wherein the print line is under, we actually see a space here. That means after printing these two hello, this one and this one, add a space, another line. So this is that space. And when we actually run this one, the print line first and then the print, it says that print this line first, the first hello, and then add line, and then print the next hello. Okay, so what if we'll be using two print lines? So let's save it, and then let's run it. There we have it. It says that let us print hello, and then add a line. There we have it, and then print again there, and then add another line. So that's the difference between the two, the print and then print line. And now let's proceed to the comments. So to comment out something, just use this one, a double slash, and how many hello do you think will appear if we have compiled it and then run it? Okay, we will just have a one hello as an output since this is commented out. So remember, anything that has been commented out will be ignored by the compiler. It will not appear in our program. So there you have it, all about the comments. So what's with a backslash or escape tag? For example, we'll just be using print, but we want to print hello there, how are you? But we want this to be in the next line. So if we will be compiling it, then running it, this is how it would look like. But what if we want to create another line for this one without using print line? So what we will be needing is a backslash n. So let's try it first, then I'll discuss to you what it means. So there we have it, Java basics, and then we'll run it. Hello there, how are you? What does this backslash n means? So if we are going to print backslash only, you can actually see that there is an error here from the color itself, because you can actually see that this is blue and it doesn't have partner. So what does this backslash mean? If we will run this, compile it first, then run it, it actually says that we have an error, and that error is that this doesn't have a partner, because what the backslash is doing is that it escapes this one, and it tells us that we want to print a single quotation here. So if we want to add another quote there, if we will be adding another quote, it says that we will be printing this one. And technically, the output will be just a double quotation mark without the backslash. Let's see if it's really the output. So there you have it, the Java basics, and then the output is a double quotation, one double quotation minus the backslash, because backslash is treated as a special character in Java, and it is what we call escape tag. So what if we want to print Sam with double quotation. What we have to do is again escape and then double quotation. So there we have it, and then run it. There you go. So to be able to print doubles backslash, you have to use 2. Remember 2. If we want to print 1 backslash, because first backslash means we will escape the normal printing and then print this one. And of course, if we'll be requiring a single quotation, we will use the backslash and then single quotation. So let's take a look at it. What will be the output for this one? Okay, so this one will output to this one, backslash 1, and then Sam, and then the single quotation. So remember that our escape tag. So another help for the escape tag is a backslash n that we have had earlier, which means if we will use it for this printing, we use the backslash n, which stands for new line. Thus backslash n stands for new line, and then let's save it. It will actually create a new line after this and then print this one. So what does backslash t mean? So let's try it. Javac, and then run it. There you have it. Let's just run it again here, and then hello there, how are you? And there has been several spaces here, or what we call tab. Okay, so far we have discussed about backslash n, the backslash t, the backslash single quote, and then backslash double quote. So another one helpful escape code is that the backslash r. So let's just comment this out for your reference, and then now let's try the Java basics again, and then try to run it. And how come that there is only how are you? So what does the backslash r do? So I'll give you another example. Try to find out what does backslash r do. Okay, so A, B, C, D, E, backslash r, X, Y. So what does this backslash r do? So let's take a look, save it. Let's compile it again, and then let's run it. And what has been the output? It's X, Y, C, D, E. So why is that? So once again, X, Y, Z. Let's add, and then just recompile it and run it again, and then X, Y, Z, D, E. So what's happening here? Okay, our backslash r stands for carriage return, meaning we have to print this, and after printing this, go back, return, okay, carriage return, go back to the first one, and then print this. That is why when we have our code earlier, which is the hello there, or the ABC, and then XY, we have had this output, which means we have printed A, B, C, D, E, and then we went back to A, and then printed X and Y. That's why we have had this output. Okay, so in our next example, the XYZ, we said that print this and then go back to A and then print X, sorry, print X, Y, and Z. That's why we come up with this output. Okay, so hope you learned the carriage return and about the hello there, \r, how are you? The number of characters in how are you is actually more than the characters in hello there. That's why this has been overridden, totally overridden. That's why we were not able to see this anymore. And what we can only see is the how are you. Okay, so let's try this one for the last one. And run it. There we have it. We only have how are you. Okay, so hope you learned something about this escape tag. And now let's talk about data types, identifiers, and strings. So one of the basics in Java is that we'll be needing variables, and in every variables we will be needing to declare that. So how do we actually declare variables, and what are variables anyway? Variables are containers wherein that is where we put our data holders. So for example, we have our identifier or data types, which are integer, string, character, and you can find several data types on the internet like float, but for now we'll be using the basics, which are the integers and string. So for example, we have here the int, which stands for integer x. There we have it. So this is an example of declaration. But when we add an initial value to it, that's what we call initialization. Remember, it's always better to initialize a value after declaring it. Okay, so, and another helpful tip is that declare variables only once per line so that it will be easier to read it. So there we have it. We have two variables here, and to print it, we don't actually need any quotation mark. We just have to call it and it will be printed. So let's see what will be the output here. So if we compile it, sorry, just use space. Okay, let's just try to, there we have it. And then run it. We have our x as 2. So remember, this is our variable, or what we call an identifier, and we initialized its value to 2. That's why when we print it, x, our output is 2, which is the value. Remember, without the quotation mark, what will be printed is the value. But if we have the quotation marks, what will be the output? What do you think will be the output? After compiling it, run it, and we have a value of x, because quotation marks actually means literal string. So we're telling the printer that print this as is. But if we will be using variables without the quotation, we are telling that the printer that print this and I want its value. Okay, so what are some other examples of printing? So again, what if I want to print the this one and this one? That's the time that we'll be using uh, okay, let's try to print it together, the x and y first. Okay, so the output will be there, 2 and 3, which means 2 and 3. And we're using print, that's why they are side by side. Okay, so what about if I want to print it that it says that x is 2 and then y is 3. So let's try to add line here just for the to make it more readable. And x is, and then space, and then how do we actually add a literal string and a variable in printing? Can we do this? Let's try to look at it. And it says that illegal start of expression and expected something like that. What's the error behind this is that you cannot print this together without what we call concatenation, and concatenation is expressed by the sign of plus. Remember, literal string plus variable is equal to this one. Compile it and then run it, and there we have it. X is 2. Can you see that one? And then right now, if we just want to do it with the y also, print y is, and then there you have it. Just run it. Don't forget to recompile it. Oh, let's see. There we have x is 2 and y is 3. Okay, so there we have it, the basic Java programming. And in the next video, we'll talk about other methods, types of methods, and of course, how to call other methods. So hope you learned something about printing, the difference about the print and print line, and of course, how to print other the two different types, the literal strings and the variables. And we'll also be discussing about how to add variables. So hope you learn, and see you in our next video.